Welcome back to the channel. We're back with another Commander deck profile. Today we're going through some more of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan with Ojer Pakpatiq, Deepest Epoch. It's a flying forgery for 2 and 2 blue, where whenever you cast an instant spell from your hand, you gain Rebound. This is only instant spells, doesn't count your sorceries there as well. And also, it has the ability to transform into a land, but we don't really care about that as it is our commander, so we want to make sure we could keep it on the battlefield as its creature side. So we have plenty of instants that we want to cast again and again, some pretty expensive ones for their casting costs, in order to make sure that we get the biggest benefit as possible off of getting them a second time, some spells that benefit off of casting some big spells on top of that, and just overall some good packages off of casting some instants or sorceries as well, because there's not really many things that just say just instants. But that's just going to be the general overview of the deck. Let's get into it card by card. Start off, we have Arcane Signet for some mana, Glamdring for 2 mana, equip creature as first strike and gets +1/+0 for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard, allowing us to power up Ojer Pakpatiq. Also, might be butchering that name, my apologies. But allows us to fly in for some additional damage, and some of our other creatures to swing in for some big damage there as well. Whenever a equip creature deals combat damage to a player, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the damage without paying its mana cost. Ojer doesn't really care about using mana value of the spell as much as it does casting from your hand, so it does help us out a whole bunch there. Isochron Scepter. Whenever Isochron Scepter enters the battlefield, exile an instant with mana value 2 or less from your hand. For 2 mana, you may copy the exiled card. If you do, cast a copy without paying its mana cost. Okay, 2 mana, keep on casting our ding over and over again that we really like from our hand. Except, yeah, we just like copies of it. Lightning Greaves, this way with that little bit of protection there for Ojer, along with allowing it to swing in with that flying damage if we needed to. Mind Splice Apparatus. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter onto this card. Instant sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast for each oil counter on this card. Allows you to save your mana in case you need the instant spells during your opponent's turn. And this way, if you didn't need them, you could then use it to flash this in. We have Sapphire Medallion for some cost reduction, Sky Diamond for that additional mana, Soul Ring for some additional mana, and Wayfarer's Bauble for an additional land out of our deck. Archmage Eternus allows us a little bit of draw power. This way we don't have to settle on just one card being cast every turn. We could cast multiple instants and then rebound them again next turn. Chrome Host Sea Shark. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, aka all those instants, incubate X, where X is the spell's mana value. Aka the higher the mana value, the bigger the incubation token based upon the amount of counters you get on there. You only have to pay 2 to transform into a creature. Dika Fractal Dearest. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, create a 0/0 token with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the spell's mana value. Doesn't care about what you cast it for, just cares about the mana value of the spell itself. So that helps us out a whole bunch there. And target creature token can't be blocked this turn, allowing us to swing in with that token, since it could be pretty big at a certain point. Illuge of the Shoreless Sea. We want to make sure we could reduce the cost to cast a lot of our spells, so this way we can make sure we cast them during everybody's turn. And it's the first instant sorcery spell you cast each turn, not just during each of your turns. Cost blue less to cast, where blue is the amount. Cost blue less to cast for each land you control with a flood counter on it. So that could get quite a lot of cost reduction, especially if you could swing in with him with those lightning greaves you put on him. Hermes, Overseer of Elpis. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get a 1/1 bird. With flying, scry 2 when that bird attacks, allowing you have some more control over what's on top of your deck, along with some extra blockers there for you, because we only have 9 creatures in this deck, so we need what we can get. Hullbreaker Horror. This creature can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, aka any of your instant sorceries, bounce a spell you don't control, or bounce a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, allowing us to, well, we can also bounce our own spells, allowing us to cast them again from our hand, allowing us to then get that rebound off of them. But yeah, overall, 2 good abilities. Do it during not just our turn, do it during our opponent's turn as well. Murmuring Mystic. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery, you get a 1/1 blue bird with flying. Also benefits you that with Hermes. But just, once again, we need that protection sometimes. Talon, Sky Summoner, some more protection, giving us some more tokens in order to block our opponent's damage anytime we cast an instant sorcery. And then, whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, aka all those instants we're going to be casting during our opponent's turns, draw a card. We like to see it. because we want to be casting spells during everyone's turn to get the most out of our instance. Case of Ransacked Lab, instant sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. Nice little cost reduction there. And whenever you cast 4 or more instant sorcery cards this turn, aka the rebound does count as a cast. You get to solve it whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell. Draw a card. We like to see it. Metallurgic Summonings. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create an XX colors construct where X is the spell's mana value. Once again, it doesn't care what you cast it for, it just cares about how much it costs to cast in the first place. But some big creatures there, some big blockers. Similar to Shark Typhoon, gets us an XX Shark where X is spell's mana value. They do also both have a secondary ability where you can exile this one, return all instant sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand, which will then allow you to cast them again, which will allow you to rebound again if you didn't already exile them with the rebound ability. Exile. May cast it from exile without paying its mana cost. So it only really benefits to a certain extent, but still pretty good. And those tokens are nice to see as well. Let's go on over to the second half of the deck. Oh, I forgot to put lands in here. Islands. That's what you want to run as your lands. For our instance, we have Archmage's Charm for 3 mana, counter target spell, target player draws 2 cards, aka us, or gain control of target non-land permanent with CMC 1 or less, aka get our opponent's soul rings onto our battlefield. But really, the counter spell is what you're looking for in this one. And then allow you to rebound it, allowing you to draw 2 cards, or maybe you're that's this Oracle player, you make them draw 2 cards. Brainstorm, just a good instant in order to make sure we could look at the top cards of our deck in order to decide what we want off of it. Confounding Riddle, choose one, look at the top 4 cards of your library, 1 of them in your hand, rest into our graveyard, or counter spell. No one's paying 4 extra mana for their spell unless they're at infinite mana for most part. So we could counter spell and then a little bit of draw power for a second ability. Consider allowing us to draw cards, allowing us to draw multiple cards, allowing us to surveil multiple cards. Counter spell, this one we don't really care about rebounding, but it's nice to be able to counter spells still. Cryptic Command, choose one, counter target spell. Nice. We could do that during our opponent's turn, and then return target permanent to its owner's hand, or tap all creatures your opponents control, or draw a card. Depends what we need at the time. We'd choose to bounce our opponent's stuff, counter their stuff, interrupt their plans during their turn, and put ourselves ahead by allowing us to swing in by tapping all their creatures and drawing cards during our turn. Cyclonic Rift, we could use the overload side for our turn, and then when we rebound it, we'll be able to use the first ability again. Some additional, just good stuff there. And also, that will only cost us the mana value 2 spell, so that's just something to watch out for Shark Typhoon and Metallurgic Summonings. Dig Through Time, allowing you some additional draw power out of your deck, getting you the cards that you want. Also, once again, 8 mana for 2 mana for an 8 mana spell. We like to see it. Dreams of Laguna, allowing you to surveil and draw, allowing you to surveil and draw again. And also has a flashback ability if we do need that, but just draw power is nice. Eject, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card, allowing us some removal, allowing us some draw power. We like both those things. We have to do both those things multiple times. Elminster Simulacrum, another high mana spell, allowing us to get the benefit off of those high mana beneficial things that we saw earlier in the video. For each opponent, create a token that's a copy of up to 1 target creature that player controls. And we get to do it again. Maybe again if we have another way to copy it. But yeah, we like to see it. Factor Fiction, just a good instant, allowing you to reveal cards on the top of your deck. A little bit of draw power, essentially, depending on how you're playing it. Allows your opponent to choose as well. Flow of Knowledge, for each island you control, draw a card for each island you control, then discard 2 cards. You may not want to rebound this one if you have a certain amount of islands and you deck yourself out. Just be careful with that one. Frantic Search for a little bit of draw power, which essentially goes neutral, which will put you ahead on mana when you cast it again with its rebound ability. High Tide for a lot of additional mana, 2 turns in a row. No downside there for us. Impulse, look at top 4, 1 into your hand, rest on the bottom. It's a nice little impulse draw. Mystic Confluence, counter your opponent's spell during their turn, then during our turn, we could bounce a creature. You could choose 3. You could choose the same one twice. You could counter something and then return something, 2 things. Then you could return 2 things and draw a card. Depends what you need at the time. Mystical Tutor in order to get your best instant or sorcery from your deck into your hand, potentially Cyclonic Rift, potentially Elements or Simulacrum, potentially Dig Through Time, depends what you have on the board already. That's a lot of this deck. It's hard to explain because you're just going to be doing it mostly based on what your opponent has, because that's how instant control type decks like this work. But something that we do want to happen again is Nexus of Fate. Take an extra turn after this one, then we're taking a second extra turn. We like to see extra turns. Opt for that additional draw power. Pongify for multiple sources removal, essentially. Quick Study for drawing 4 cards for 3 mana. I'll take that deal. Rapid Hybridization for that removal. Reality Shift, more removal. C double in order to copy a copy of the copy of the copy. Snap for that removal and going positive on mana, essentially, but when it does get rebounded. Sublime Epiphany, counter spells, draw cards. Target player draws a card. Could be your opponent if we need it to be. And then Supreme Will, counter target spell unless it's controlled plays 3. And then during your turn, look at the top 4 cards of your library, one of them in your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Like I said, we want to just run mostly islands in this deck. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 1. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. And then for our sorceries, we have Commit. Put targets. It's also an instant, so we can cast the instant side. Put target permanent spell or non-land card into its owner's hand, second from the top. Make our opponent use their draw power in order to get back to it. Unless it's their commander, then just put it in the command zone. For Flood of Recollection, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and allow us to cast our best one again, unless it was already exiled for the rebound ability. Gitaxian Probe for a little bit of extra draw power there, and some hand knowledge. Some draw power off of Lorien Revealed. Merchant Scroll, search the library for a blue instant card, reveal, put into your hand. We like to make sure we get our best card into our hand, and I just realized I was scrolling down too far almost. Let me actually scroll over a little bit more. There we go. Mind's Desire, shuffle your library, exile a card from the top. To end turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. We do storm that off. We don't cast the cards from our hand is the only thing. But being able to cast multiple things without paying their mana cost, I like that deal. Ponder for some additional draw power, determining what you want off the top. Preordain, determining what you want off the top, a little bit of draw power there. Getting you closer to your instants to win the game. Rise from the Tides, 2/2 black zombie for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. Only thing with a lot of these cards is you don't have a lot of them in your graveyard if you use Ojer's ability, so just be careful, making sure that you keep track of that. Solve the equation, get your best instant or sorcery into your hand, and then take your 2 extra turns, because you could get, what was it, C double? Nope, not reality. Why am I forgetting the name of this card? Nexus of Fate, that's the one. Where were we? Solve the equation, that's the one we just did. Spectral Deluge, return each creature from an opponent's control with toughness extra less to its owner's hand, or X the number of islands you control, aka get board wipe our opponents. Time Warp for some additional turns. Joshua Cruz, draw 3 cards. I mean, get to our instance for only 1 mana, draw 3 cards. I'll take that. And then Windfall in order to, cycle out our no land hand for some lands so that we could actually cast our stuff. But that's the deck there. If you guys like the deck, make sure you like the video. If you want to see more deck profiles like this, leave it down in the comment section what commander you want to see next, or just what you'd run in this deck. But yeah, overall, hope you guys have a great rest of the day.